It's time to turn an old, beat-down dresser into something pretty. This poor dresser, although solid wood, heavy, well-built, a total disaster. Somebody was very hard on this. Pieces of the trim are missing, the dog chewed on it, gouges out of the wood, and scratches everywhere. And yep, dog chewed on that corner too. Oh, I've got my work cut out for me, but we've got to turn this into something pretty because a client chose this dresser and I've got to make it match the other dressers that they have for me. And the first thing I started was a struggle. I took the screw out of this and then realized that these are also glued. So not only are they screwed on, but they were glued on. So wood knobs on wood don't come off if they're glued. They're on there. See, I just have the one screw in the middle. I had to loosen it first and then get my cordless in there, get that screw out, and that knob doesn't budge. So I took a plastic putty knife and my mallet, and it was just tearing stuff up, but I got them all off. And then my other thing is that these would not come out, so the drawers were actually attached. I had to unscrew them. We'll get to that later, but I need to clean this up. This needs a good cleaning if I ever saw one. And so I took my scrubber and I'm using a good degreaser and I'm just getting in there scrubbing everything, and now I've got to get these drawers out. So these disengaged and would come out. I numbered all the drawers because I'm sure they need to go back where they started. And then I took them all out. The bottom drawers I had to fight with because they would not disengage and I had to unscrew them. So we get these off the dollies and lay them down, and I always lay them down on the dollies so I can still move this beast around because it's heavy. I get out my Bondo and then hardener, mix that up well, and I've got to fill in all these areas. I'm not changing the knob placement here, but now I'm just repairing where I removed all of those wood knobs because it kind of damaged the front there. And then I also have to rebuild some of these areas where it was completely broken off. I love this wood pate, and the reason I'm using this in this area because this base is getting stripped. So I didn't want to use Bondo there because it's not stainable. Okay, the Bondo had a chance to dry up, so I got everything sanded. I scuff sanded the entire drawer after that, and now I just have to address these few areas where I had built this up and rounded everything back out again. You can't even tell. But Bondo is amazing for things like that. You got to take the time though and really sculpt it out. All right, I got my scraper out and scraped. I'm just doing the flat parts first because of course that's the easiest part. And then I have a rounded detail scraper that I went to town with to get down into the grooves. And then of course my contour sanding blocks to again get down into the grooves. Just changing different sizes to get in different curves, and we're finally stripped. While I have it laying on its back, it's actually easier to go ahead and do the rest of the scuff sanding. Still, getting these dents and dings all repaired and time to get cleaned up. Now, I also noticed that the top has come loose, probably because people lift from there. This is heavy, so I put a good dose of glue in there, clamped it down, and that's going to be all good. Some pre-stain conditioner on this area because we're staining. Pre-stain conditioner certainly helps the stain go on nice and even. And this dresser is actually being refinished to match another dresser. So I had mixed up a custom stain for that first dresser. Actually, this is the third dresser I'm doing for them in this style. And luckily, I still had some stain left over that I had mixed up. So I'm glad I mixed a lot when I did it. And this is top coat going on. It just helped to brighten everything up. I sand between coats of top coat. I would do this several times. I usually do 3 to 4 coats of top coat in these areas. And I just take a damp cloth and dust it in between coats, and there's more top coat. It can't just be pretty, it's got to be durable. Okay, some little nylon feet. I like to get this up off the floor if I can, at least give it a little bit of a break so this wood's not sitting on there. So I added little feet. It helps to make it slide around too. Got that up, and now I am scuff sanding. I'm working into the night here. Get that edge. Surf prep coming in clutch for some rounded edges. The next day, it is time to paint. I set up my spray tent, getting everything all cleaned up and reassembled. And now that base has had time to set overnight, I need to get it all masked off because I don't want any paint on my beautiful base. Get this into the tent, and it is time to drill some holes. I was about to do primer and I thought, oh my goodness, I forgot to drill the holes. And the reason I wanted to make sure I had holes, because I'll show you in a minute, but I need to put some temporary handles in there. I've got to move those around a bit. Here goes my primer. And I'm really overlapping my lines as I pass each time because I want a good coat of primer. This one needs some help, so I am priming it. Definitely a good solid coat of primer. And because this is so big, I usually do this by hand, but I decided to grab my Surf Prep to do the sanding in between coats. And now I have another Bondo product. This is called Spot Putty. The Spot Putty is great because I have some areas where the finish had failed and I sanded through all the way to the bare wood, and it will react different to the primer. You'll be able to see that wood grain. And all these knobs where those came off, wood grain. So I filled all that in with this glazing and Spot Putty, and I'm sanding it back, and look. That is all the grain that is being filled in. Isn't that amazing? Now that will paint much smoother, but you got to prime over the top of that. And here's my temporary handles, those adjustable screws that we use for nothing other than temporary handles. I never use them for anything else. Time for some paint. This is a beautiful black, very solid black. Actually, it's called bold black. True to its name. But I love this color, and again, this is the third dresser I'm doing for this particular client. And when the edges of my drawers are really thick, sometimes I grab a piece of cardboard and I paint those edges this way. And I decided that that piece of cardboard was too big, so I got a smaller one. I let that dry for a couple of hours, and then I'm off to scuff sand again. I cleaned everything off, and then this is my second coat of paint. Some real-time painting. You can see what it really looks like because it doesn't all happen this fast. Otherwise we'd be here for 3 hours. So it's like, how much can I show in 10 minutes if I do it really fast? All right, it's the reveal. Did I get any paint on that stained base? I did not. Everything's coming off very nicely. All right, temporary handles go away and the real knobs go on. These knobs match all the other pieces, so we're using the same hardware. Looking lovely. And then I want to spend some time just tuning up all of these drawer guides. Now this is the type that's a ball bearing, and there's a little carriage that rocks back and forth that the drawer slides on. Of course, years and years of dust get in there, so I spray my lube in there, I wipe everything back, and then I actually do spray a little bit more lube on it, but then I want to get that worked in there. So that slides like nothing now. You want it to slide like butter. Okay, I measured my drawer and I'm just lining everything, cutting it out to size. I don't like to jam it all in there and then cut it. My lines are never straight. I'm taking a paintbrush to use as a little broom, just making sure everything is clean. I'm going to dry fit what I just cut, make sure I got my sizes right. Take the backing off. I'm just going to ease that into the drawer, try to get everything lined up. I use the manufacturer edge on that front, and the ones that I cut go in the back. I have a plastic putty knife that I use to just smooth everything out. And voila, beautifully lined drawers. Take a look back at where we started. What a nightmare. And here we are now. Isn't she lovely? She's so beautiful. I just love a big dresser. So much storage, but this is still so elegant even though it's large. And just look at the sheen on that paint. Beautiful matte finish. I love the lined drawers. This is going to be the piece that really pulls their set together. I hope you like it. Be sure to follow for more.